Okay, so moving on. So which is the scope and objective of this procedure? The scope is only for KAVAs that are included in BP 2021-2022 and that are continuing in 2022. This means that they have allocated budget for the year 2022. KAVAs that are included in the business plan 2021-2022 but ended in 2021 will not complete this second part of the amendment. Which is the objective? To update deliverables and outputs, descriptions, budgets exclusively for the year 2022. There will be no deliverables and outputs and budget changes allowed for year 2021. It will not be possible to modify any deliverable or any output that was submitted during the interim report 2021. If we have to highlight some differences with the BP 2021-2022 amendment part 1, no KPIs target changes are allowed, both for year 2021 or for 2022. And the KAVA budgets for 2021 should match the interim reporting of 2021 reported costs. Sorry, the reported cost on the interim reported 2021. The KAVA budgets of the year 2021 are not editable. Okay. Okay. So now let's go to the timeline. As you can see, the activity editor has opened on the 26th of July, and this allows activity leaders to modify budgets. They have a time frame that starts on the 26th of July and ends on the 9th of September. Regarding the content amendment, it goes from the 26th of July to the 23rd of September. If we go back to the budget amendment, after the final submission on the 9th of September, the finance contact of that partner will have to approve or request more information on the modifications or amendments performed. And that has, let's say, a period where they can do this that goes from the 9th of September to the 15th of September. Finally, we have a budget consolidation that goes from the 15th of September to the 23rd of September. When all of these parts are finished, before the 30th of September, EIT Food will finalize any complementary annexes for submission to EIT, and will submit the BP 2021-2022 Amendment Part 2. Okay, so now let's look at the phases and rows of the process. We have identified 4 phases. Phase 1. The activity leaders submit the budget changes on Plaza. Of course, this is only for 2022, and update the partners in their consortium. Before you submit any change, you have to check some points. If you're going to submit some budget changes, you need to have all of your partners aligned, all of the partners on your team, on your consortium aligned, to avoid any rejections from the partner finance contact. For partnership changes, you need to verify that all partners are involved in your KAVA, all the partners that are involved in your KAVA are active EIT Food partners. So you may check this on Plaza, and if you have further questions, you should contact your regional partnership support manager. This phase 1A goes from the 26th of July to the 9th of September, as we mentioned before. But you also have another phase that is the content amendment. And that phase goes from the 26th of July to the 23rd of September. This is also led by the activity leader. And the activity leader will be able to update descriptions, deliverables, outputs, members, risks for 2022 only on Plaza. If we move on to the next 3 phases, the second phase is, it goes from the 9th of September to the 15th. And in this case, as we already briefly mentioned, the partner finance contacts will check the budget changes requests inserted on Plaza by the activity leaders, and they will have to approve or request eventual modifications. So this is a coordination period. Phase 3 goes from the 16th to the 23rd of September. EIT Food consolidates the budget that has been approved by the partner finance contact. And finally, on phase 4, which has a deadline that is on the 30th of September, EIT Food will submit the business plan 2021-2022 amendment, second part, to the EIT, to the European Institute of Innovation and Technology. Another quick point to mention just from the start is Plaza. So many of you are familiar with Plaza. So the first thing that you need to do to start amending or modifying a budget or a content on your KAVA is to enter to Plaza with your user, your password. And then on the home page, you will be able to see on the right side current activities and just below activity editor, as you can see here on the picture. So you first click activity editor. And after that, you have to select the business plan 2021-2022 and the KAVA that you can choose your KAVA from the drop-down list. Finally, you can select the year 2022 from the drop-down menu that you have on the right side. And well, that should work. But if it doesn't work, what could happen? So the first thing that could happen is that you are not the activity leader of the KAVA. The second main issue that we normally find is that you try to access to the call for proposals and you're not the activity editor, or you did not select the business plan 2021-2022. Okay, so these are like the normal issues that you can find. Okay, so now let's move on to the budget amendment. Before we move on, Aimee, could you please tell me if we have any questions?
No, there's nothing yet.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, so to move on now, let's look at how to modify a budget. So before you add or change budgets, you need to make sure that all the partners that will have budget in 2022 are created in the partners tab. So they need to be listed there. You also need to be sure that the partners are active in our network, okay? Are active partners of EIT Food, are still partners and have not been exited. So if you have any doubts, double check that on Plaza. Normally Plaza is absolutely updated, but sometimes that can go wrong. So if you have any questions, please contact your regional partnership manager. If you would like to extend the duration of an existing task of a KAVA, that started in 2021 and you would like to extend that task to 2022, you need to click on Edit Task and extend the start and end date to 2022. After you have modified the budget, you need to be sure that all the changes have been submitted. Okay, and of course, before that, before making any changes, you need to be aligned with your program manager. I will go briefly to the terminology that we normally use in this part. So when we talk about original budget, we mean the original business plan budget that was submitted to EIT, okay? The budget business plan 2021-2022 is the BP amendment part 1 budget, which was approved in April 2022 by EIT, and this cannot be modified. The current is the budget that can be amended, okay? And finally, consolidation means that the budget has been processed to be included in the amendment of Business Plan 2021-2022 to be submitted to EIT, and finally, EIT will have the final approval. Okay, so now let's look at which are the main parts of the budget modification. So the first step is to select or create a budget line. To modify the budget of 2022, for example, changing existing lines or adding new ones, you need to select the year 2022. You can add new budget lines per partner and task with the Add button in the upper left side. You can modify the current budget by clicking on the Edit the Line, clicking on the icon. Partner and task need to exist before allocating budget. If you cannot find a partner when adding a budget, go to the Partners tab and add the partner along with its role description. Okay. So in the second part, you will implement these changes. So you can insert the new target budget, for example, updating the budget value of your request, and add also the budget description. You have to insert the reason for the change. This line is mandatory, and you should argument precisely the budget change request. Of course, this has to be discussed before with your program manager. After that, you apply the changes and you can select different options. For example, save and refresh, save as a draft, and submit change request. Okay. If you don't click on submit change request, your budget amendment request will not be saved. Will be saved as a draft, will not be, let's say, effective. Okay. Effective as in a submission. Okay. Let's go on. Okay, so some basic principles to help you to do your modifications as successfully as we can advise. So the total KAVA costs have to be equal to the total funding. And this is something that you can check, just look at the picture. You can check this at the bottom of the cost tables. The sum check has to be 0. The co-funding rates at the KAVA level cannot be lower than the committed amount that was on the original business plan. This is also something very important. Okay. Okay, so now let's go on Plaza. So some other tips. You can have an accessible overview of the budget in the tabs Activity Cost and Key Figures. Activity cost works as a pivot table. And you can filter information by partner, cost categories, source of funding, etc. If you see in the picture, you can filter. You can filter using the red circle. I mean, where you can see the red circle, that's the button to filter. Or you can move fields up or down. Check the blue arrows in the picture. It is useful to see the overview per partner to adapt descriptions. You will only see the current costs. Your budget changes request will be integrated as current only after the consolidation. Regarding the key figures for a consolidated overview, including the total reimbursement rate and pending changes, it's a part where it's useful to see the difference between what you are requesting and what was allocated. So these are two nice points that you can also use when you're modifying your KAVA. Aimee, do we have any questions?
Yeah, we have, is this part of date change? Where can we extend tasks that were not completed in 2021 and rolled over to 2022?
Okay, so let me go back. Okay, so to extend the duration of an existing 2021 task and to extend that task to 2022, you need to you have to click on edit task and extend the start date to 2022. You have to modify that. But please first talk with your program manager so you have their approval. More questions, Aimee?
No, that was the only one.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now let's turn to content amendment. Good. So, okay, so let's talk about the different parts that you can have in this area, in this space. So let's start with partners, and then we will go with members. So only partners with a budget should be listed here in your partner list. It is mandatory that if a partner has budget, it is listed here. You can't add any budget to a partner that has not been previously added to this list. The partner that you add for 1 year is also added for another one. It is not possible to have a partner joining only for 1 year. In the case, sorry, just 1 second. In the case of members, you can find all the contacts of the partners contributors as well as the contact of the program manager. So this is an important part because perhaps you have a new program manager, you can check that information there before contacting your regional office. You can click on add a member to add any member. Only members from organizations listed as partners can be added. Okay, members are specific people. If you have any issues in this space, well, there are some common mistakes or common errors that we can have. So you can find a partner in the list. So the situation could be that the organization is not an EIT food partner yet. So contact your program manager or your partnership and funding manager, partnership and manager, it depends on the region, to flag this issue. You can add a member although the organization is listed in the partners tab. You need to see if that member has a profile on Plaza first. Good. So on tasks, what can you do on this part? So you can extend the duration of a task beyond 2021 as it was inquired just a few minutes before, or you can add new tasks starting in 2021 or 2022. In the first case, to extend the duration of the task to 2022, you started in 2021 and you extend that to 2022, you need to first talk with your program manager and you need to have allocate budget for 2022. You need to select year 2021 and click on edit task. And finally, you will extend the start and end date. To add new tasks, you have to select the year 2022 and click add new task. You have to insert the mandatory data and click on save. So try not to add too many tasks, just add the tasks that are necessary for budget allocation. Okay. So let's go now to descriptions. You can also modify your descriptions during the content modification that you're performing. You first need to select any year and fill in the description tab what you want to insert or update. For that, you have to click on edit on the edit icon of each field to modify it and fill in the tab as required. And after that, of course, click save. You must write the whole descriptions, including 21 and 2022, only in one of the years, because, for example, you can add both in 2021. What you write in the descriptions tab in 1 year will overwrite the content on the next year or the year before. Okay, good. Regarding deliverables, you have two possible changes that you can conduct. The first one is to create a new deliverable for 2022. And the second option that you have is to modify a deliverable that is due in 2022. So if you would like to create a new deliverable in 2022, you have to click on the tab deliverables outputs and choose year 2022. And after that, you will add a deliverable. You have to fill in the tab as required and click save. In the case of modify a deliverable due in 2022, you have to again click on deliverables and outputs and choose year 2022. After that, you click on the edit button, and next to the deliverable of interest, you modify the information and click save. If you would like to modify outputs, you have to just follow the same path that we have just explained about deliverables. And finally, on risks, you have to, if you are going to modify the risks, you have to select Business Plan 2021-2022, select tab risks, and click on Add Risk or on Edit Risk to modify it. Okay. After that, please click Save.